Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another special Halloween closer look. So last week we took a look at the Dracula and Frankenstein Legacy collections, both the recent Blu-ray releases and the original 2004 DVD releases, and just kind of a brief encapsulated look at some of the other releases over the years. So this week, surprise, surprise, we're going to take a look at the other two that recently got Blu-ray releases, specifically The Mummy and the Wolfman collections. And as with last week, we'll take a look at the original 2004 releases as well, kind of an encore look. I know I did kind of closer looks at the 2004 releases a long time ago, but I can't remember how sort of up close I got with them, and I know I didn't have this camera at the time, so consider it an encore and a bit of an upgrade look for you. So let's get right to it. The Mummy and the Wolfman Legacy Collections. Today, on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Now, for those of you who did not watch last week's, I'll just kind of give you a bit of a recap here. So in 2004, the Legacy Collections came out to kind of tie in with the Van Helsing movie. And we got the Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman sets as direct tie-ins with that. In fact, some of the extras on here are from the director of Van Helsing talking about Van Helsing and how he was a huge fan of the monster movies growing up. And then, a few months later, we got three more Legacy collections, namely The Mummy, The Invisible Man, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which covered pretty much the entire spectrum of the Universal Monsters movies from the 30s through to the early 50s. Well, I guess the mid-50s, because it was like 55, 56 when the Creature movies came out. So as I pointed out last time, the original 2004 releases, while lovely and wonderful having all of these individual sort of franchises within the greater franchise collected together, the use of double-sided discs was a bit of a concern, and I have had some playback problems with some of them in the past. I remember the first set of The Mummy that I got, one of the movies was unplayable because of the double-sided dual-layer discs that Universal just loved to use for everything under the sun back then. It was like the most horrible decision ever, because almost always you would get a set with these discs and there would be at least one or two of them that were unplayable or would skip a lot or what have you. Just terrible discs. I'm glad to see that nobody uses them anymore. But it was really only Universal that seemed to have that problem with problematic double-sided dual-layer discs. Other companies would use them and they'd be fine. So I don't know what to tell you. Something with their manufacturing or authoring, or I have no idea. Anyway, a few years later, the Legacy Collections got a re-release in the form of single-sided dual-layer discs. So much nicer. I was considering upgrading to that for a long time just to have, properly playable discs. But I'm glad I kept putting that off, because then we started getting the Blu-ray releases. So now not only do we have everything on single-sided discs, but we got them upgraded to high def. So how cool is that? So we're still waiting at the time of this recording, we're still waiting for Blu-ray sets of the Invisible Man and Creature sets. But for now, at least we've got the main kind of four. We've got the Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the Mummy. So the Mummy's kind of its own franchise, but Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, those are the big three, because they cross over with each other, and it's got quite a complicated continuity to it, which of course we're going over the course of this month here. So, the first Blu-ray releases, of course, we got were this set here, which is the 8 movies. So I'm just going to go through this real quick for those of you who didn't watch the other video, or those of you who want to recap, because it's been a week, and there's been a lot of stuff posted over the course of this week. So there was this set, which is the Region A version. There's this set, which is the Region B version. Actually, I say region B, but it was actually region free. And then there was this version, which was the region free version in a coffin case, just a nice display piece. Now these only contain the sort of key 8 movies. So you had like the first Dracula, the first Mummy, the first Frankenstein, and the second Frankenstein, because they kind of go together. First Wolfman, and then you also have Phantom of the Opera in there. Oh, and the Invisible Man. So basically, sort of the big 8, like the ones that everybody remembers and talks about and rewatches endlessly. The sequels tend to be a little bit more niche, I think, more for sort of hardcore fans like you and me, who just want to not only experience the originals, but experience the whole dang saga. The original cinematic universe, right? So yeah, we want to get right in there and enjoy every bit of it, all the good and the bad. Just bring it on, man. Alrighty, so without any further ado, let's head on down to the black box. So we'll take an encore closer look at the 2004 sets and a closer look at the Blu-ray sets. Okay, so much as we did last week, we'll start with the old and then take a look at the new. So here is the original 2004 Legacy Collection DVD set of The Wolfman. Very nice. And take a look here. There's the spine there. And take a look on the back. Lots of extras. Very cool. So then if we slide it out, there you go. You can see that once again. Sorry, get the paper out of the way. Once again, here we've got just a tree and some stuff like that. So very cool. I like how they did kind of the mix of clear stuff and the photo underneath. And then once again, we have the ad for the Legacy collections. And on the back, we have the listing of all the movies that are on the set. So if we open it up, actually we'll take a look on the back first. So there we go. So The Wolfman is kind of unique in that it did not actually have any direct sequels. The first sort of direct sequel to it was Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, where they started to do the crossovers. So, yeah. Oh, look at that, another Van Helsing ticket. That's awesome. So, yes, I can go see it 3 times in the theater. It's fantastic. I hope it's still showing somewhere. So here we've got The Wolfman, which is just the 1941 original. And then we have all the other werewolf movies on this disc here. And it's a lovely double. Actually, you can tell from the color, the goldish color, that's dual layer. The silver color, that's single layer. That's one way you can tell. So there's so few movies on here. There's only, I think, 4 movies on here that they didn't even need a full double-sided dual layer disc. So if we just take a look, there we go. Get Larry Talbot talking to the... Who is he talking to anyway? Oh, he's talking to, what's his face? The Invisible Man. Very cool. I forgot he was in that. It's been a while since I've watched these. Of course, you're seeing this out of sequence. At the point I'm recording these, I have not actually rewatched all the Universal Monster movies yet. But by the time you're seeing this, I've probably watched that one again by now. Now to you is the future for me. Figure that one out. Alright, so just slide all that back in, and there we go. So very nice. So let's see what we've got for extras here. So we've got The Wolfman from 1941. Then we got Werewolf of London from 1935, which is actually Universal's first werewolf movie. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman from 1943, and She-Wolf of London from 1946. Van Helsing director Stephen Sommers hosts an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how these original classic werewolf films inspired his motion picture event. It's funny because those who were looking at this later may wonder what that event was. Well, that event was Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. Monster by Moonlight, an original documentary. Author and film historian Tom Weaver provides insightful commentary on the Wolfman on an alternate audio track and newly remastered audio track for maximum clarity. So there you go. Very nice. So now, out with the old, in with the new. Here's the blue. Yeah, there we go. So this is the Blu-ray set. As with the other ones, this is from the this cover art is from the DVD re-release of the Legacy collections, in which they added a few more movies into the mix and did some new documentaries. So there we go. Very nice. So we slide that out, set that aside. Oh, this is all misaligned. Hold on a second. Let me just correct the alignment of the insert here. There we go. Alright, that looks a little better. So there's the Wolfman and the Wolfman. Alright, so then if we just take a look at Wolfie there. Take a look at the extras here. So we got Monster by Moonlight, the Wolfman, From Ancient Curse to Modern Myth. That's a new featurette. Pure in Heart, The Life and Legacy of Lon Chaney Jr. That is also new. He Who Made Monsters, The Life and Art of Jack Pierce. That is also new. The Wolfman Archives. That is also new. Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters. That's a carryover from the other sets. 2 feature commentaries and theatrical trailers. So this one has quite a lot of movies on it. We have, especially compared to the original 2004 release. So we have The Wolfman, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, The Wolfman from 1941, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman from 1943, House of Frankenstein from 1944, House of Dracula from 1945, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein from 1948. Yes, a third time now we have that. So if any of those other discs screw up, I'm covered. Werewolf of London from 1935 and She-Wolf of London from 1946. So none of those other werewolf movies have anything to do with the Wolfman. They're basically just standalone. They are their own thing. So the Wolfman disc here, this is the same as the single disc release. It is also the same as the 8 movie Essential Collection. Got the listings on the back, a little bit of running time info and stuff like that. And then here we have, much like the Frankenstein set, this is the exact same disc. It has all 3 of the Monster Mash movies, so you can marathon the whole crossover saga in one fell swoop. And then we got Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Again, that is also on the Dracula and Frankenstein sets. And then here we have Werewolf of London and there we go. Werewolf of London and She-Wolf of London. So the 2 sort of standalone stray werewolf movies we've got together there. So you can see both of those together if you like. I actually kind of like how they've grouped all of these. So in terms of new stuff that isn't on any of the other sets, we got the Wolfman and those 2. That's it. There's literally 3 movies on this set that are not duplicated on the other sets. So all depends how much of a Wolfman fan you are, I guess. Well, me, I'm a completist. I want everything, so gimme. Very cool. All right, so that covers the Wolfman. Now we have the Mummy. Now, I actually got this set twice. Once I purchased it and one of the discs would not play properly, so a very generous viewer actually had an extra set and sent it to me, and that one played perfectly. So thank you very much, viewer. Thumbs up. I can't tell if that's thumbs up or down. It's all backwards and upside down for me. Anyway, that's meant to be a thumbs up, whichever way it's pointing. So, alright, so the Mummy set with Karloff the Uncanny. Actually, he's only in the first one. He's not in any of the sequels. And there we go. So lots and lots of extras there. This was pretty cool because I had never seen any of the Mummy sequels when I first got this. I've since watched them over several times. I really enjoy this series a lot, even though it's a little bit ridiculous at times. But that's all part of the charm. So here we have, let's see, so we got The Mummy from 1932. And then we have The Mummy's Hand from 1940, The Mummy's Tomb from 1942, The Mummy's Ghost from 1944, and The Mummy's Curse, also from 44. Yeah, they pumped out 2 Mummy sequels in the same year. Then we have Mummy Dearest, a horror tradition unearthed, an original documentary by film historian David J. Scull. Film historian Paul M. Jensen provides insightful commentary to the film. I'm guessing that's just on the first one. The Mummy Archives, and original theatrical trailers for all films. So, as before, we'll just slide this out. So this is from the second wave of Legacy Collection sets. Van Helsing had long since left the theater. So there we go. So, of course, we have Pyramids. Very nice. This one, the insert was sufficiently small like cut a little better, so it actually fits inside, which is kind of nice. So here we have the Mummy. So this is just the original with the lion's share of extras. And if we take this, there we go, and then we have the same thing, advertising the first 3 sets. Does it even mention the other sets? Yeah, it does not look. Oh, actually, it says here, each collection includes a different, exclusive, behind-the-scenes look at how Van Helsing director Stephen Sommers was influenced and inspired by the original films to create his motion picture event. There you go. There's our answer. So the Stephen Sommers thing is not the same on each set, which makes sense. You want to focus on each monster. And there's our lovely double-sided dual-layer disc. Pretty sure it's double-sided dual-layer. Yeah, it looks kind of goldish. So, yeah, I'm guessing two movies per side there. And then we pop that off. And there we go. So we got a nice little bit of artwork there. Okay. And I really like that this fits in here. It fits almost perfectly. Like, if you just look, see? Very nice. Because then I don't have to worry about it getting caught inside when I put the sort of book back in the box. Here we go. Excellent. Oh, did we take a look at the back? Hold on a second. Hold on. I neglected to show you the back. There it is. Alright, in all its glory. Okay, and finally, let's take a look at the Blu-Ray set. So here's the Blu-Ray set. Once again, same cover art as the DVD re-release of the Legacy collections. This is an amazing makeup job. Jack Pierce, truly in his prime right there. He just did an amazing job on that. Apparently incredibly uncomfortable for Boris Karloff as well, but he was so dedicated to his art, he just took it, man. He just took it. So here we've got all the same movies that are on the original set, with the addition of Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Oh my goodness, we finally got a different Abbott and Costello one. Yeah, so I'm really hoping they'll release the other sets so we can at least get Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man added into the mix as well. So, alright, so we slide this out. I should mention, these cases are fairly flimsy. They're alright. But they got a nice texture to them. I actually really like, I don't know how well you can't really see well, a little bit, maybe. And then the titles are embossed, of course. I didn't really show this on the other ones. But it has this really nice kind of, I don't know, slightly rough texture to it. And then certain aspects of it are smooth. So it's pretty cool. So if we open this up, try to open it up. There we go. Alright, so once again, as with the other ones, the main movie here, this is the same that's in the 8-disc Essential Collection, and also the same as the individual release. Basically, with the main movies, they've just been repackaging them over and over again, so take your pick however you want them. I say go with the Legacy Collections, man. So this is a unique set in that because there was no crossovers, the Mummy is just its own franchise. There's no duplication at all in this set. This is entirely stuff that is not available in any other set. So we got the Mummy, Mummy's Hand, Mummy's Tomb, Mummy's Ghost, Mummy's Curse, and then Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. And there you go. So that's all unique to this set and not duplicated on any other set. So if you get the Mummy, you can be assured of getting nothing but stuff you don't already have. So we take a look at the extras. Sorry, I'll let you look at my Mummy while I go over the extras here. So we have Mummy Dearest, a horror tradition unearthed documentary, so that's the same. He Who Made Monsters, The Life and Art of Jack Pierce. Unraveling the Legacy of the Mummy Archives, 2 feature commentaries, and theatrical trailers. So there you go. And that is that, my friends. So if we take a look here, one last look. Here is the old. Really nice sets. These look great on the shelf, all 6 of them together. Give you some idea. All the spines line up pretty much perfectly. And it just looks really... Hold on a second. There we go. And it just looks really, really nice on the shelf all together. So I normally keep all 6 of them together, obviously. And then there is the Blu-rays. And I guess if you're wondering how the Blu-rays line up, they actually line up really nicely too. Look at that. All silver, and the spines are embossed as well. It's very, very nice. Very classy sets. And there you have it. Those are great freaking sets. Like, as someone who basically grew up watching the majority of these movies, they are such a treat just to be able to not only watch them whenever I want now, but to be able to enjoy them in high definition. I mean, that is just fantastic. When they released that 8-movie set, I was really kind of concerned that that's all we were going to get on Blu-ray. I thought, oh, we're not going to get the sequels, are we? But then they surprised us. They released not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the 6 legacy sets on Blu-ray. So if we could just please get the Invisible Man and Creature sets to finish it off, then I'll pick up the single release of Phantom of the Opera, and I'll be a very happy camper indeed, as I'm sure many of you will as well, because if you're watching this, chances are you love these guys as much as I do. Alrighty, that is it for this week's Closer Look. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week. I've got a pretty special one next time. It's not the usual fare, but something that's special to me that I wanted to share with you. So we'll take a look at that, whatever it is, next week. Until then, thanks for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and sayonara.